We got here is a Raven RFM200P. It's a 12 volt, which has a triangular plug on it. It doesn't run, so we're going to tear it down and inspect everything on it. We first start out, we're going to look at the plug and whether there's bad corrosion inside the plug on the pins that are inside. These pins right here, because they'll get corroded up, and that can cause problems with your connections. Then we're going to pull it apart. So we'll start by taking the clamp off, and we'll split it in half. Always put the clamp over to the side. We're going to put our parts inside the clamp so we don't lose any of them. Now we're down to the hub. We can see that the hub's got some pretty good corrosion on it and stuff. So we're going to pull the hub out. We'll take these 4 screws in here. They're holding the hub in. Now with the screws out, we're going to pull the hub off, and our turbine will be in there. We can see that on the turbine, there's a lot of buildup on it, which is a rust buildup, which happens to the magnet. This is the magnet that goes around and reads through the sensors inside of our cap there. So we're going to pull the turbine out, and we're going to look our shaft over. We can see that the end of our shaft is all scratched up. So we got probably a problem down here with our end cap, and the shaft is pretty scored up, so it's been running pretty roughly in there. That means these bearings, which are these little guys right here, are probably getting bad, and they appear to have some pretty good wear in them. So now we're going to pull this end cap off here. This is what sets the tension on our turbine when we put it back in, so we'll have to reset it. Okay. Now we can see that on our end here. That one don't look too bad. It's got a bunch of corrosion on it, which is probably what caused that on the tip of the turbine. But it's a glass bearing that sets in there, and usually when I run around on it with this pick, I feel where there's any scars or anything inside of them. I did have one here that had a bunch of cracks in it. I don't see it right now. Okay. Now we'll look at the bearing that's on the inside of the turbine here. And this one we can see is wore out pretty good. It's got a pretty good size wear into it. You can see how our shaft sits down in there. Actually, the shaft's not sitting too bad in this one. There's a little bit of wear in it, but not real bad. I'll show you another one that I pulled apart earlier, and the bearing was gone inside this one. It had busted. So when the turbine was turning in there, it was binding up, and it was not able to give a correct reading. Also, this is one of our other problems that we find with the turbines. Is we'll find something got in and busted one of the fins off the turbine. Also on this turbine here, we can see that that little glass that I showed you, that little glass bearing, was wore out, and the very tip of this shaft was getting wore off, and it was wearing. You can see the wear marks down there and down inside from the wear on the bearings, the bad bearings that were in it. Now we'll pull that cap assembly